Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, my name is Nur Aisyah. I'm from Biology Class D. In this video, I'd like to talk about the reward of Islamic civilization in Spanish, where we know that Islam ever so victorious on the blue continent, one of them in Spain. First of all, I'll begin by flashback of Islamic civilization in Spanish, including traces of the beginning, development, and final glory, and conqueror who ruled for centuries, and I'll continue by the collapse of Islam in Andalusia. What you know about Spain? Okay, its country in southwest Europe, along with Portugal, is precisely on the Iberian Peninsula. No talk about civilization Islam there. In the past, the country, which was also known as Andalusia, became the beginning of Islamic civilization in mainland Europe. An expert revealed that Islam first entered Europe, especially Spain, through the North African route in 711 CE. Before mastering Spanish, Muslim has controlled mainland North Africa and married one of the provinces of the Umayyad dynasty. Had complete control over North American had complete control over North Africa. It was said to have happened at the time of the Caliph Abdul Malik. Before ruled by Islam, the Iberian Peninsula was ruled by the Visigothic Empire, with the Roman Catholicism, which is quite thick since the 5th century until it fell under the hands of Islam in the 18th century. Finally, Islam also penetrated Europe and renamed Andalusia. Didn't take long, Islamic civilization began to develop rapidly, especially when Cordoba was elected as the center of Islamic government in Spanish in 756 CE by Abdul Ar-Rahman I. At that time, Cordoba was known as the intellectual center in Europe, and at the same time, the establishment of various Islamic universities with the various disciplines, one of which is the University of Cordoba, which was built during the reign of Abdul Ar-Rahman III in 90 and 12. 912 is that the university is the pride of Muslims because there are many students from various countries, including European Christian students, study at the city. Father stretches educationally and intellectually, and Cordoba more and more shine when in the era of the reign of Hakam al-Muntasir in 961 to 962 CE, as many as 27 schools were established to the library building, which reached 72. Well, in short, other cities were killed. It was in the dark period. Cordoba at the time was known as the greatest center of learning in Europe, specialized in philosophy, medicine, science, literature, music, and the art, interpretation, and fiqh. Do you know Islamic rule in Spanish lasts for 7.5 centuries and is divided into 6 periods. The first period, where at the time the government was in the hands of the appointed guardians by the Umayyad Caliph, based in Damascus, it's now that this was obtained, political stability has not been fully achieved. The second period, where at the time the government was under the Amir, is like a commander or governor. The third period, at the time the rule had the title of Caliph and became the beginning, the glory of Islamic civilization, especially when the government is divided into conflict internal also appear this era. Then the fifth period, there were two ruling dynasties, Murabitun and Muwahhidun. And the last in the sixth period, Islamic government became weak and controlled only the area of Granada, to be exact, under the Bani Ahmad dynasty. Finally, we come to the last part, is the collapse of Islam in Andalusia. As known is based in its period, the peak of glory, or the golden age of Islam in Spain, occurred in the third period, to be precise in 912 CE, but is known to weaken with the onset of split from within the government in 1013 CE. The last leader in Andalusia, Spain, was Abu Abdullah Muhammad bin Yusuf bin Nasir al-Muhammad I. He chose to surrender after being surrounded by the Kingdom Army Castile in 492 CE and signed a peace treaty with King Ferdinand and Queen Isabella. There are two factors, internal and external, that caused the collapse of Islam in Andalusia. Internal factors are disunity and power struggle. In fact, it has happened since the beginning of the reign of Abdurrahman I. However, in the last moments of Islamic rule in Spain, precisely in Granada, the struggle for power occurred again. And the result, the power of Islam was divided and weakened, and this golden opportunity was used by the Christians to expel the Muslims from Spain for forever. Next week, Caliphate leadership. This can be seen when Hisham II ascended the throne to replace his father Hakam II. He was weak caliph, lacking the ability and skills to administer the state, because he occupied the seat of the caliphate at relatively young age. His government was controlled by Muhammad ibn Abi Amir al-Mansur, while the adult Caliph Hisham II was only a puppet. The real rule was al-Mansur. Next, the emergence of small dynasties. The inability the oh the I'm sorry The inability of the rulers and caliph to maintain political and governmental stability made the rules at at the regional level, such as provinces, began to distrust the caliphate's power and take an attitude of breaking away from the caliphate center in Cordoba. As a result, small dynasties were established, known as Muluk al-Tawaif or Reyes de Taifas. Economic problems, because it's more concerned with development, so the economic get less attention. On the other hand, internal factors was not the existence of unifying ideology, the lack of clarity in the transition system power, and the loss of the role of the ulama. External factors. Conflict between Islam and Christianity. When Spanish Islam split into Muluk al-Tawaif, the map Islamic power began to decline. Instead, the Christian kings in the north began to sorry, instead the Christian kings in the north began to unite and carry out attacks. Finally, one by one, the Islamic dynasties were conquered. In such conditions, Muslims are unable to stem the attacks from the Christian side, which are getting more and more intense. Finally, one by one, the Islamic territories were controlled by Christians, including Cordoba, Seville, and other areas except Granada. Under the rule of the Bani Ahmar, Granada was able to survived for more than 2 centuries, but in 40 and 69 CE, the kingdoms of Aragon and Castile united, against Islam in Granada, so that in 1492 Granada was besieged and conquered by Christian rulers. With the fall of Granada into Christian hands, Islam as a political and religious force disappeared from mainland Spain. The last geographical factor, because Spain is a remote area from the rest of the Islamic world, so he always struggles alone, without getting help except from North African. Thus there is no alternative force capable of stemming the Christian revival in Spain. Okay, that's the end of my presentation. I hope you enjoyed it and you understand what I was saying. Uh, I'm so sorry for my bad English. Pardon me and thanks a lot for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.